Guess 0 for 2.
And we're going to actually start, and once the performances start, we ask that everyone kind of get close so that there's a walkway in the back. Yeah, and then if you're here, if you can just, the performers, you guys can sit down close to the table. And then everyone else, if you guys can just kind of fill in the back, actually come up here, it's safe. And fill in, there's actually some chairs in the back too. And then we have more folks that will be joining us. So as they come, they'll just sit there. You gonna stand like in the middle.
Hi everyone, thanks again. My name is Michael Green. I'm with the education department here. We're really encouraging everyone to kind of come into the space and sort of sit down and sort of cram in as much as you can. So feel free to come and have a seat. I'm really excited to present tonight's Tuesday evening program, presented as part of the Fahim Majid Chicago Works exhibition. Fahim has invited a series of artists and cultural groups in the city of Chicago to come and activate his exhibition over a series of Tuesdays, and tonight is the first one. I'm going to turn it over now to Fahim and let him introduce Donda.
How you guys doing? Hey, this is interesting. This is great. I don't know which side to talk to. So I'll stand here. But no, I want to welcome everyone and really thank Donda's House for collaborating with us on this project. In a minute I'm going to ask Donnie and Shay to come up and talk a little bit about the organization. But first I want to talk a little bit about the exhibition and the space that we're in, the spaces we're in. So for those that don't know, I used to run a space called Southside Community Arts Center. And this space that we're standing in references the architecture of that space, Southside Community Arts Center, where I really came into Chicago. So it's really exciting whenever I move around, I often bring kind of memories of that space, which was kind of magical, into other spaces. So in some sort of ways, this is kind of fitting into the museum temporarily, just almost kind of touching the walls, right? So there's a lot of artistic metaphors. But, and then I build platforms and bring in people, organizations, and artists that I care for, that I admire, and that I built with in the past. And this is a real special relationship, as amazing and talented that I'm learning that Donda's House crew is. This really all started out between our sons, me and Shay's sons, who go to school together, and we were at orientation just sitting next to each other. And I was a big admirer of the work that Shay was doing in the community, and it just kind of started there. So it kind of started out of home, it started out of a personal relationship, and it's grown a lot since that, almost 2 years ago. So I don't want to get too nostalgic, I want to get to the performances and all this talent. This is amazing. I don't even know what this means to me right now. But I want to bring up Donnie and Shay from Donda's House and maybe talk a little bit about the organization before we get going. So let's give them a hand and welcome.
Thank you. So it feels kind of interesting for us because anytime Donda's House can basically occupy a space, especially a different space, it's pretty exciting. So I'm Donnie Smith, the Executive Director of Donda's House. Donda's House launched in 2013, and we were co-founded by myself. I was an educator in the Chicago Public School System for 12 years. Che Reinfeld Smith, who you will hear from momentarily, and then Kanye West. And we were actually named after the mother of Kanye West. Her name is Dr. Donda West, and she was an educator for over 30 years, made a tremendous impact on the lives of both academics and students. And what we did was we decided that, all the youth in Chicago needed access to her pedagogy, which was experiential. It was about truth-telling, and it was about really using the arts in many ways to build bridges. And so what you're seeing today is going to be very organic, basically we have some of our artists who have visual interest, and that's kind of how they were selected. We have a community of 160 artists between the ages of 14 to 24. So tonight you're going to see a pretty small selection of those students. And then on the walls in this space, you're going to see, or you see the work of Leah Queen. Leah, raise your hand. Who's an amazing visual artist, but also a singer, a rapper. And I think we should invite the audience to also kind of get involved. And as I said, this is going to be very interactive, very experiential. And I'm going to call up our creative director, Ron Smith.
All right. It's always interesting when my wife introduces me like she doesn't really know me. But I'm happy to be here tonight. As we know, art impacts the world, no matter what kind of art you're doing. If it's visual art, if it's physical art, if it's audio, art and audio. Kanye and I had a debate last week where he says, you know, Kanye's on this fashion kick now. So he's like, I don't want to do music, I can change the world through fashion. Or I think movies are more important than music. And we have these debates about which art is more powerful. And you know, the debate ended with me telling him all art is powerful. It depends on how you use it and how far you want to take it and how you see your art changing the world. So at Donda's house, as Donnie stated, we were created because Kanye's mom, who was an educator, she was the dean of the English department at Chicago State University. She was a Fulbright scholar. Many people don't know, her and Kanye lived in China from the time he was in 5th grade to the time he was in 7th grade, and he learned Mandarin and all this stuff. And after all of this academic education, the STEM, the science, technology, and math, and engineering education she gave him, her son decided, I want to do music. I want to paint murals, I want to do music, and I want to drop out of school, out of college, and I want to do music for a living. And a lot of parents who are professors and professionals, you want to do art? Like, what do you mean? You're going to ruin your life. This is the end. I mean, I didn't become a doctor for you to become a rapper, right? And so, but what Dr. Donda West did, instead of freaking out, she gave him a space. She gave him a space within the home. She bought him equipment. She said, instead of you and your friends going out to a strange place, you and your friends come over here. And not only did she raise Kanye within art that she didn't even understand, but she also arranged the space for myself, for Kanye's friends, and we were able to take our art and make songs like Jesus Walks. We were able to take our art and that space that Dr. Donda West gave us and create The College Dropout. We were able to create songs like Glory that you hear now with Common and I. So art can change the world if people help create spaces, safe spaces for artists. So what we hope tonight is that in this space, you can see art, you can experience art, you can be a part of it, and you can also be inspired to create your own art. And with that being said, we're gonna give the mic back to who, Don? Okay, we're gonna give the mic back to Don.
So, just in terms of the format, and I see Avery. Avery, come on up here and join us, please, and have a seat. And a couple of performers, K-Ron, Padre, you guys come on up and have a seat. So, basically what's gonna happen is we're gonna have performances, and we're taking it back to, and really this was the conception of the students. So essentially, what Fahim said, you know, the students came to his studio and he said, you know, what do you envision happening in this space? And the students came up with this idea of basically going back to, you know, elementary school, where you would have literally a platform and people would kind of bang on the table and you would have this organic, raw music. And so we're gonna kind of recreate that tonight. The students who are sitting around the table, some of them are gonna go a cappella, and then after each performance, just to let the air breathe a little bit, we're gonna have sounds by DJ Be Real. And we actually want a little bit of rotation, because as the people in the, and I'm gonna call it the box, the people in the box are gonna experience this differently. And so we wanna get as many people from out in the audience to rotate in between performances. So after each performance, what I ask is if you, the folks who are in the box, can kind of circle out and the ones who are out here, you can circle in, and we're gonna get into it. So our first performer of the night is gonna be Miss Leah LaQueen, and she's gonna be accompanied by the artists, some of the other artists at Donda's house. So I'm going to give Janice the mic.
Also, there's a lit, y'all can sit on a lit ledge here, y'all can line the walls if y'all want to come in. It's not a stage, it's a platform. So y'all can move in.
Right? Like I really don't. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
I'm fine where I am.
Give yourself permission.